Hi, Chris. So thanks for joining for our case study to wrap up the Pro MBA. As I said with the format, like this is an informal case study. Ultimately, firstly, I just want to understand that you've understood everything we've taught. But I think secondly, it is a good opportunity to sort of showcase your skills, your knowledge, also your process. The goal again is not to have a nice PDF here. It is to have both a playbook that you can use in your company. Right, roll that out across your company. It is a playbook you can use for new business opportunities, new business that you might be starting. But also I think it's an effective way to pitch yourself in future, if you're ever looking to move job or looking to be hired as a head of product, for example. So I think that's the goal with it. So keep it informal. I'll jump in with a couple of questions, but I'll mainly save my feedback for the end.
Okay, nice. Yeah, thanks. Glad to be here. So
okay, so I'm going to hand over to you. And then, as I said, I'll jump in with a few questions and we'll cover the feedback at the end of it. Over
cool, sounds good. All right. So yeah, just some of the principles that I live by as a product manager, just to get a context of who I am. I definitely, there's all sorts of unvalidated assumptions out there. And I think the most important thing that we need to do is to understand what the impacts are. You can't clear all of these assumptions, and you really need to understand which are the big ones, which kind of goes into the next point is prioritize rocks over pebbles. This is kind of a way that I live my life in general, but it applies to also which things you should focus on, and also applies to which things you need to validate, for instance, as some could have a bigger impact than others. Yeah, and then also, how does this fit into the strategy? It's a good question. You should always have, everything should have a strategy. You shouldn't be just throwing a product out there and not really guiding it from a higher level. To the next point, product is a living and breathing organism. And it feed the product with user value. So this is kind of what it likes. And if you think of things that are just wasting time, doesn't really drive any user value, it doesn't like this. It's just empty calories. Yeah. And lastly, you always have to understand the ergonomics on environmental conditions when experiencing the product. So for me, I build a lot of, integrated hardware software products. So you're building a hardware product that is much like a laptop. It has a control surface, so it's how are you interacting with this, and how are you sitting at this? How are you experiencing this product, which also could be how you experience an app in a certain condition. So I kind of use these, and yeah, these are kind of my principles. So
awesome.
Cool. So process for the MBA course project, case projects. So at first I wanted to understand the niche that I went after was the goal and vision setters. So I wanted to understand their problems. So that was first and foremost. I had to do some ideation around this as well, because this space is quite full of, especially cultural barriers, I found. Perceptions they would have of, why they wouldn't want to engage with such a product. And then also, and then from there, kind of, what is the offer to flipped, what is the offer that actually can kind of flip these barriers, but also this evolved quite a bit from the beginning till the end to what I end up with now than where I first started. So that was good to kind of, what is the offer? What is the emotional connection?
Yeah.
Why do people want to engage with this idea? What can this do for them? Then I went to experiments with no code solution, testing the user value. And this is kind of where I'm at now. I've mostly through this, but I've also learned a little bit as I'm going, because I'm still quite into the stage where I'm about to launch a little like a closed unsupervised beta to then check the PMF engine to really see how is this really driving the value. But what I have done is I've done some supervised user tests because the prototyping process took a lot of effort, as you may see when you see it. It's just to drive to get the user value across and to really hit those, the journey map that I set up to kind of give user value to these to solve these problems. Required a lot of work. And so it's been a lot of work. So that's basically where I'm at.
Nice.
Yeah, and then basically invest in long-term. So I definitely want to next take this to an unsupervised beta, which I can talk about a little bit later.
Okay.
So yeah,
awesome.
Cool. So problem statement. So these vision and goal setters, they're currently frustrated because they cannot bring their vision and goals to reality, or they're not giving it space, let's say, to really bring it to reality. Their ideal situation is to have a simple, inspiring space to define and stick to their long-term goals.
Got it. Okay.
So, any questions?
No, really, no, that's a good thing. It's really clear so far.
Okay.
Everything's good.
Cool. So first hypothesis was, I just wanted to first understand, is this a real acute problem?
Yeah.
So after 6 user interviews and 9 significant text responses, because I sent out quite a few Facebook messages. So well, actually one person didn't want to talk. They just wanted to communicate over Facebook, and that was fine. And then some others brought in a bunch of information. So that kind of gave me a good idea of where the problems are.
Got it. So sorry, that was just to go back on that. So you reached out to validate the problem. You did 6 user interviews, and then you had sort of 9 quality interactions over text.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
That it would continue on Facebook because it seems like they didn't want to meet up.
Yeah. No, that's fine. As we talked about, right, it's better to get some data than no data.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, ultimately the user interviews are great, but they're harder to get.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to see this, but I can just explain it. So I ranked. I also brought in the text responses on the very far right. You'll see. I also brought in like the interviews and also text total interviews and total. I think one of those is actually the text responses. So I wanted to rank a little bit, but basically what's blue is everything to do with defining this problem space of really defining and having a nice clear, having a clarity, kind of having a nice place where you can define your visions and really set them and dial into your visions is definitely one of the problems. And the other problem was staying accountable, and it's more on the mindset. So this is motivation, accountability, also flexibility, because I found some people had a problem of, not achieving their visions because if they are involved with a life coach, the life coach is too hard on them or something. So there's also all these mindset. It's such a complex thing that this is also a problem. So on my right, you can't really see it, but there's the blue ocean canvas. Definitely where the competitors, sure, there's vision boards, sure, there's all these other type of products where you can do like a piece of paper and you can write this down. So this is definitely a spot where this could fill without quite a blue ocean on that side on the digital space, at least done well. There's definitely some competitors, but there's some reasons why they have not been successful. And then also on this mindset, like how do you turn this into something that is giving you the motivation to continue on and not losing track? And it's like, how is this product interacting with you? And also where I feel the competitors have lost.
Yeah, on that, because I think that's a really interesting topic. Like, because from here, it's like I can see you've done a lot of research on the interviews, the problems you've outlined, you've flipped those into opportunities. And, again, it's good to bring in the conversations as well here. Because again, I talked about this a lot, right? It's not just about quantifying, number of people that mention a problem, but also then getting a sense for how acute is that. What from all that research, like, what do you feel competitors have done wrong? What's like the biggest mistake they've made?
Not being a utility. It's not being. I've looked at all of them, and actually, there's one that's very close to this. It's called No Limit.
Yeah.
I looked at this app and I saw their offer, and I'm like, wow, this is almost exactly what I'm thinking of doing. But then I opened it and I tried to use it, and it was, it didn't serve the purpose of. Sure, it was trying to capture visions, and the way it was doing it wasn't really. It was so like a piece of paper on your digital form. It wasn't really engaging my mind. Let's just call it this. Yeah. So I think the mindset problems, the challenges with the mindset is also how you engage with the product, which also probably is why it took me so long to get the prototype in a good spot where I would feel comfortable trying to even compete in this space.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, that's why also I think I liked, I'll talk about this at the end with the feedback, but it made sense in your niche to really dig in here and spend a lot of time in this early stage because of the, ultimately, as we said, it's not about the competition, but trying to dig in to understand, like, what are all these beliefs at play? Yeah. What are mistakes that people are making, etc. But anyway, let's move on from there.
Okay. So this is where I refined my hypothesis. This was working on the MVO, the offer statement. So I tested, before I get into the statements itself, tested this with a landing page, and then also survey to qualify, make sure they're in the niche. Very low conversion in the first MVO, and much better conversion on the second refined. So what I feel, so I'll just explain it. The first one is the first crack at this was we help ambitious people create their best future with a simple based on the psychology of goal attainment. Far too technical, nothing you can grasp onto there.
Yeah.
No real value, to be honest. Of course, people didn't want to interact with it. Now the refined it has a brand now. It's called Lighthouse, helps people create their best future by better aligning their daily actions to their long-term visions. And this is something you can grab. And it's quite easy to even explain to my friends, oh, what are you working on? Oh, something that better aligns your daily actions to your long-term visions. It seems to resonate with a lot more.
Nice. That's great to see, because I remember we did a lot of iterations on that. And I remember, the customer feedback on myself saying that, you have to really sharpen this up. And I think, as you hopefully realize, right, did you feel that actually through the iteration, that's how you ultimately get to this?
Yeah, and it was the things you said, and also just sitting there and writing 40 different versions of this, in a way that finally got to something, it was a long process.
Nice. No, but great work with that.
So this is what it looks like now. I don't have a version of that first landing page because I've changed it so much, but this is the landing page, and you can't really see it, but it says Lighthouse helps people create their best future by better aligning their daily actions to long-term vision. So this was the kind of, and then the type form is in the background there. And this seems to be converting quite well and getting people to grasp onto this. I had one person, when I sent this out immediately, she's like, oh yes, please sign me up, on Facebook. So,
nice.
So that was kind of cool. Yeah. Cool. And this is actually where you helped a lot, because this is the validated product vision. So a simple, inspiring space to define and stick to your long-term goals. So this is, I think you helped a lot with this statement, and it kind of wraps it up. Like, what is this product vision? And I just put this into one of these statements about Alice, let's call her. She's frustrated. She cannot bring her visions to reality. She often gets not lost in life, but she gets taken away by life, and she doesn't stick to her visions. It doesn't happen. Desired situation is a calm, focused, and prioritized movement towards her long-term visions of her life. And the product vision is a simple, inspiring space to define and stick to your long-term goals. So that's nice. That's where I ended up.
And that's clear. And also it's nice because it gives you also, and I think that's the thing with product vision, on one side it needs to be concrete, but also you have that slight openness in terms of like how you would obviously craft the solution itself.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. Isn't it?
Okay. So the hypothesis 3, how can we validate that our specific solution resonates with our niche with a video demo of our prototype? So this is where I'm at the moment. But I also have the video demo was now complete because the prototype is complete. So this is kind of where everything piled up till the end. So now the video is out, it's running. I don't have metrics on that yet. And the prototype is nearly done. I have one more page to do, and then I can run the beta test. Awesome. But yeah, what I've done is I've done 2 in-person user tests. But if we just talk about this here, so to get there, create a journey, customer journey map, which I'll show on the next slide, build a no-code prototype, which is both kind of, just being completed, and demo video, the impact outreach campaigns, this is ongoing. So what you're seeing here is, we'll start on the right. So on the very far right, I did the inspired by competitors. I did a case study on Fabulous, which was kind of interesting competitor products, doing some things right, some things wrong for sure. And then also the inspired by helped me to guide the wireframes to really define what type of experience people need inspired by the utility, because I feel like the utility keeps on coming back. Like this has to be useful to someone. It can't just be one of these apps. Even Fabulous is great, looks great, but I was bored after a week. It's not something you need in your life. So inspired by some of the creative graphics and the way they visualize things, but not really inspired by the utility.
That's great. Again, it's easy to get distracted by that. And I think particularly in this space, mindfulness, productivity tools, it's easy to think some of these products are really successful because they're featured on the App Store, or someone that used them, but actually a lot of them are struggling. Can't monetize, can't retain. So great analysis there.
Yeah, and so the three main, you can't really see the customer journeys, but I've listed them here. So defining your vision, breaking it down into actionable steps, adding emotion, otherwise you're never gonna, it's the basis of your motivation to complete something bigger in your life. Mm-hmm. And then also the most utility part of it is plan, take action, and reflect. And that's what is in development right now, or prototyping right now. But I have the first two bits of this customer journey in the video demo in the next couple of slides, and you'll see the video demo in the back there. And I think we get to that soon. So hypothesis 4 was, so the core value of aligning daily actions to long-term vision. So the customer's value is high. They value this highly. So fully functional no-code application. I have one use case left basically on this. Onboard the cohort. This is happening right now, but I've done 2 user tests, as I mentioned, and this product market fit engine is in progress. Not enough data to really say anything at the moment, but it's definitely, once I get this beta running on this, an unsupervised beta, then I can really start to survey them and to understand how I can improve.
Nice. No, I mean, even with 2 user tests, you get a lot of value, right? I mean, even one. You sort of get the process.
Exactly. So I think this is a video. Oh, never mind. Not a video. So full application, defining. I already mentioned these. You're defining your visions, breaking it down, adding images, emotion, planning it out, and taking action. Mm-hmm. I had a video somewhere. Where's
no, don't worry. I'll send it to me after, and I'll. Check it out.
Yeah, it's not weird.
So let me just revisit those. So you see.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
You ready? There's no sound, but I can basically explain it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put the speed up. Playback speed. If it plays.
Yeah, don't worry. Wait a few seconds. If it doesn't, I'll have a look after. So let's just review that. So top user value, you've got defining your visions. And
here we go.
Excellent. Yeah, there we go.
Should I go full screen, or what do you think?
Yeah, go for it. See if that should work.
Oh, it doesn't work because
I can see it actually quite clearly.
Okay, I'll just give you a walkthrough. I'll just give you an my voice walkthrough. So I basically have instructions about what each step. Yeah. I should slow down the speed actually. Oh, it is normal. Okay. So I give a lot of helpers where needed. So this is creating a vision. So this is a business and career, and just for simplicity, I was using Finnish University.
Yeah.
Add some images, add a date of completion, and then it comes up there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no designer as well.
No, it's great. I mean, it's even the very, the click dummy version was quite good.
Yeah.
Get a feel for it. This is really slick. So let's compare that to the top user value. So defining a vision, break it down. First thing.
Yeah. So defining the vision and breaking it down. That's what I'm doing. And I'm basically showing a flow of your next 3 years. You want to finish university, finish your job, and launch a startup as an example. It's ambitious, but it's
millennial.
Yeah. So actionable steps. So now you're creating steps for this.
Awesome. Yeah,
so I try to really follow Microsoft To Do as how they visually style things, because I use it all the time.
Yeah.
But I have some learnings as well from the user test, which I can explain in a minute.
Okay. Awesome. So this is break it down, and you can add adding images as well.
Yep.
Yeah, a really interesting approach.
So you're adding an image, and then you journaling. So I was also playing around with ideas of doing a word cloud type thing, you know, if you want to, because a lot of people that do vision boards, they like to put a bunch of words together that can inspire them. So yeah, that's basically adding the emotion. And now this next is trying to taking action. So what's your focus today? I took this from Momentum. I love this feature. I use it every day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing today. I'm adding it to my daily action, and I'm going to work on this task today. And then hitting the lightning bolt would be essentially your action plan, which I'm working on right now. And then it ends here, where when you complete something, I'm trying to gauge, and that's it, trying to gauge some sort of reward mechanism and rating how you feel when you complete it. And it's still in the works, but that's where I ended up with.
It looks really good start, definitely. Nice. No, that looks great.
Cool. Okay, so product market fit engine. So this is kind of in progress as we speak.
Yeah.
The one thing that I did learn from these, and just now that you've seen the demo, things that I've learned from, and I also don't know if it's a segmentation issue or what, but so I'll just get through this and then I'll give you my thoughts after. So some things to keep doing is I just feeling of like, make it useful, utility, makes you come back, makes it very helpful. So keep this, and definitely the planning and taking action is how you can achieve this from what the two people I've spoken with. This makes them, otherwise it's just something they can do and they forget about it and they never come back.
Yeah.
And this also is the offer. This closes the gap between daily action and vision as well, is action. So this is critical to this. And also the reward mechanism is something I need to explore more and really start the engine and really figure out how can we best deliver like the best reward mechanism.
Yeah.
So this problem with the segmentation that I've come up with now is maybe a friendlier interface. So it's very technical. As you know, it looks very much like dark mode of
It's very like
Microsoft to do. So I need to think about this, and also brings up, there's a lot of females in vision boarding. Vision setters are, especially all the ones I've talked with on Facebook, lots of females seem to identify with vision boarding and setting their visions. Not to say that the productivity, so I think I have the segmentation topic to sort out, is overlapping of productivity versus vision board, traditional vision boards type of people, and how to bring those together, and how to also maybe cater to those two audiences, because this might be too technical, too dark for particular segment of this niche. So that's one thing I learned so far. And
that's a great, sorry to jump in. It's a great learning, because as I said at the beginning, like brands should be informed by your users, right? And that's the point. So yes, you need to come in with something, right? It has to look roughly professional, I think, particularly in the crowded market. But exactly as you're doing, you know, if suddenly all of your users are female and that is relevant to the brand, which it seems to be, then great, and you maybe flip that.
Yep, exactly.
Great learning.
And also some problems with the nav. Obviously I put it together quite quick, how everything flows. There's some inaccessible areas. So I find that it's a little tricky going from a conversational UX to a put it all in front of you UX. Like, I feel some things call for instructions. Do this, do this, do this. Take you through a flow.
Yeah.
And then other things call for how do you make it fit when you can see everything all at once. So I've kind of tried to blend the two worlds together. Something that still needs work. It's definitely not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, also I think on that would be my only, before I come to sort of full feedback, I think only feedback actually on that prototype would be, have you added too much, and does it need all of that? Because, you know, ultimately UX, the main thing should be obvious, should be easy to navigate, and then sort of everything else is obviously tucked away slightly. Yeah, that would be the only, you know, question, and my opinion, not particularly your users. So just something to think about there.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel with a test cycle as big as this, I should have narrowed the scope down
That's a good learning. It's a good learning
from the beginning, because I would have been done this a long time ago. But
in the background. 1 second, I'm just going to close the window.
yeah, no worries.
Sorry, it's like some serious rainstorm outside. Sorry, carry on.
So where does that leave us? Yes, definitely have this, the core value, as well as this highly functional planner to do, bringing daily action to visions. This is, I definitely need to get this in there. And then also understanding, okay, now what do I have to take action on? I also feel like I've done it too quickly. I tried to slam it in there, and I feel like this is such a critical piece, is, yeah, it's all in there somehow. How do you present this information to the user in the best way? And nice to have thing is having a space to reflect on the past success, and realize your progress. I have another page in the prototype that, it's there, but I haven't really had the inspiration or the perfect idea how to finish it. So those are things I could use feedback to help with, for sure.
Nice. No, it's good to just sort of map them out a little bit at this stage. Just keep an eye on it, and then more data you get in, the more those become more concrete.
I should really put in one of those effort impact matrix things.
Yeah, fine. Again, I mean, you can wait for a bit more data. I think it depends.
Yeah, for sure.
When you feel you're ready to commit to, okay, what's the next step with this, I suppose.
Yep. Yeah, and other than that, the next steps is to do a really unsupervised beta with this functional prototype, but also to prove this utility case, because I also feel that if it doesn't have this utility thing, it's never going to have a chance. Even if I randomly, I had 20 great beta testers, and they're, this is amazing, great feedback. PMF engine is, showing me great results. And then basically, now I have this product, but then again, if I'm not seeing activity and daily reliance on this, then I would be hesitant to push this forward without getting that right. So as the next step, I also had PMF survey, really run this after the beta test, and then also look at mixed panel analytics and really see how much activity is happening with these users. And to really see if they want to do it, they want to use it in their daily life.
Yeah, great, nice.
So I think that's it, actually.
No, that's great. I've been writing lots of notes. I think generally very, very good. So specific comments on the pitch, then I'll give you some sort of personal feedback from the last 8 weeks. So principles, excellent. I think you really made this your own rather than just like listing the examples I had. And I thought they were better than the ones I have. Very concrete. So the rocks over pebbles, what a great way. I know I've heard about this before, but just a great way to sort of show the importance of focusing on what matters, fitting things to strategy, good. I love the idea of the product as an organism. A great way, again, it's this continuous feedback loop, which you demonstrated really well. So not only was it very good, but it showed that you made it your own, which is, again, what we're looking for. It's like really see you grow into who do you want to be as Chris, the product leader, not just copying the playbook. Process, same thing, made it really your own, lots of really nice concrete examples there. Problem was really clear. I mean, that's why I didn't ask any questions. Everything was actually very clear. The problem statement was very good. The hypothesis, where you, if you just go back to probably slide 4, where you showed the vision template. Yeah, excellent. Good. I mean, you can't obviously explain this super clearly, but you talked through this clearly. You were demonstrating what you were doing, why, the balance of aggregating this feedback whilst keeping an eye on competition and having those two things going on. Very good. The vision itself, just on the next slide, really concrete, really balanced. Also, just really rewarding for me to see that the iterative for you as well, right? To see that the iterations worked. That is the most important thing. It's just like persisting and iterating, and eventually you're going to crack it. Yeah, people understand that conceptually, but it's only when you really experience that you go like, oh wow, okay, actually, I am going to keep pushing with this.
When you can tell your friends this and they say, yeah, okay, like I get it. You know,
yeah, exactly. People don't really, I rarely see people actually push that much and iterate enough times until they see success. So that's going to really help, I think, just generally with whatever you do in life, particularly with products. Prototyping, excellent. I really liked your approach, actually, you know, going to first principles. I think from day one, you know, we talked about this a lot, just realizing not being blinded by competition, really trying to dig in. Okay, what is the problem? Because lots of people have tried to crack this and they haven't.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to do it. And it's clearly an acute problem. It's just, how do you solve it? You're not going to do that by following the competition. Excellent.
Cool.
Final comment, PMF. Yes, even though you haven't got to do this sort of strict process, you've done some user tests and you've gathered feedback. So great. You already have a good idea of where you need to go. Even as I said, with just 1 or 2 user tests, the obvious things will pop up. So good there that you're already thinking about that. And I think next step is just sort of come in with a bit more of a formal process, and also one that ultimately you could, you know, hand off to someone more junior or a team that you're managing, and they can sort of go off themselves. So yeah, excellent. Like nothing. I'm trying to not be over pleasant with this. There's nothing. Nothing I can criticize with that. You know, I could say, well, it'd be nice if you did the 4th iteration, but I know that you're very busy as well. So I think you coming on to then, you know, general feedback. I think first feedback is just like, congratulations.
Thank you.
I know you've persisted a lot, and I know you're a very busy guy. And I know, remember day one, before we even started, this was just a big question mark whether you would even be able to do it because of So really good work there. You know, things like the 40 product vision iteration. That's very few people do that, but you need to do it to get it right.
Yeah.
And I think
for sure,
easy to give words to stuff, different just actually going and doing it. So great work there. Second point, very, very, from day one, you've been very smart in recognizing the need for specificity and for not, you know, for going from first principles, which is shown in the presentation. For example, your vision research, really comprehensive. You didn't just skip to the next step. You really dug into that until you were happy. And the benefit showed off. Showed with your MBA. Nice. What else? 3, open-minded. Like, you came in with someone quite a lot of experience. I've never felt that you have not embraced what we've been teaching or just happy to test something out. That's really good. Finally, I think the best thing that I've seen is you've made, particularly from today, it's very clear that you've made this your own process. You know, your principles, your process, the hypotheses. It's not just been a case of listening to what I've said in a video and sort of just vaguely copying it. Like, you've clearly thought this stuff through. You've adapted it. For example, the PMF and this question of utility, great. And I think that is the thing that's really going to set you in good stead, because it means that you understand it on a deep level. It means you can then tie into what we look for as the outcome, and actually go and apply this, whether it's starting a new business or coming into an existing product or existing business, and, you know, whipping it into shape, right? Making sure there's a clear focus, like value proposition, strategy, etc. So like really, really excellent work. Like, really nice to this as well has just reinforced that journey. Yeah,
thanks. I just want to say thank you. I mean, it's I learned a lot. I mean, even though, you know, I come in with a lot of experience, I still, you know, valued all the videos, the wealth of videos and knowledge and ideas and thoughts and different ways to do things. It's been really, thank you.
No worries. No, it's really rewarding. I mean, just seeing the case study is very rewarding, actually. So thank you for working. Nice. Excellent. Well, look, thanks so much for the time, Chris. And we're going to be quite active with community events, hopefully when things get back to normal as well. So I'll hopefully see you at an in-person meetup in Berlin.
Would be great.
Awesome.